Hello. Welcome, one and all to the Xander Gibb Show. We are in pre-production mode. We're just getting ready to go live on all of the platforms. I am Xander Gibb, for those of you that don't know. And if you don't know, why don't you know? I am, of course, joking. Because I'm a comedian, or at least that's what it says on my bio. Seems, though, that us comedians are not allowed to be funny anymore because we're told what is considered funny. When the old way used to be that we were able to decide and to tell you what we thought was funny. And that enabled you to decide whether you thought what we said was funny. But there you go. Hello to all of our early birds. Hello to Chet. Hello to Janie. Hello to Dave. You are so welcome. Why don't you know? Shut up, Xander. That Xander is always interrupting me. It's, who am I? I'm Xander Gibb. Google me, bitches. Yes, I am the one and only Mr. Xander Gibb, defender of America, deplorable and avid supporter of Donald J. Trump, which is why I'm sitting here at 1 o'clock in the morning. In the UK, doing my very, very best to make a difference for the United States when there were people that actually live in the United States who couldn't give a frick. So, as I said, I'm just sharing the feeds. If you could click that share button, I promise you, that's share as in share, not as in whoa. If you could click that share button, I would be most grateful, and I will add you to my Christmas card list. And we will let you know at the end of the month who has shared the show the most. And they will win a prize. I'm not sure what that prize will be, but it will be significantly appropriate. Maybe it will be a copy of my album. Maybe it will be a copy of my book. Maybe it will be a fortnight in Syria. No, I'm joking. We wouldn't send you to Syria right now. Maybe during Eid or Ramadan. Maybe we could send you then. There we go. Let's share the YouTube link under the main show page because I know that people like to watch it there too. Apparently some people like seeing my big ugly mug. That's what someone called me this week. That's what someone messaged me through my website and said, we don't want to see your effing ugly mug. Hello, my Gina. I will, well, I don't know if you're allowed to enter chat, but haven't you got a copy of my album already? Yeah, someone had the audacity to send me a message saying, we don't want to see your big ugly mug. So don't watch, quite simply. There are enough people out there that want to see my big ugly mug. I am just sharing, too. Fascist book. Great. So, before we get started, still can't get over the fact that Roger Stone's sentence was commuted. I'm very happy about that. It really was the thing to do. We've got Chris Saucier coming on next week. I'm going to get his take on it. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, Donald Trump should have given him a pardon," but apparently there were issues that were attached to pardoning him over commuting him, and commuting him kept him out of jail, which I guess was the immediate issue. So thank you for that, President Trump. Thank you for always having the backs of American citizens where others Um, no, Dave, I didn't troll them back. I'm so tired of it. I block them now because when you start a back and forth with them, they screenshot it and make it look like something that it isn't, and report you for it. So I tend to just ignore it as much as I can now. I'm worse on. Don't go check out my TikTok, Gina. Goats' lives do matter. Don't check out my TikTok because I swear something chronic on there. Because there are such idiots on TikTok, and it just shows me how stupid so many people in America are. Mostly the ones that are voting for the Democrats. If you're voting for Joe Biden, you've obviously got to be mentally impaired in some way, shape, or form. But there are some on our side of the aisle that are a bit stupid, which is worrying. Hello, Maria. Welcome to the show. We are going to get started in just 1 second. So I kind of tend to ignore people now because if not, I will give them, the whole measure of my wrath, which is pretty plentiful right now towards idiots. But we are going to have a great show tonight. We have some great guests, or we have a great guest. We are going to go into live mode now everywhere with the opening titles in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It has been good to me this time around. Things were the other bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no rest. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and eras don't dictate. Well, hello and welcome to today's episode of the Xander Gibb Show, the talk show that really does get you talking on the Xandermonium Network, live from an undisclosed location. It's AOC's underwear drawer, bringing you the best in Patriot broadcasting 5 nights a week. I'm Xander Gibb, because who else would I be? On tonight's edition, I get on my soapbox, breaking down and analyzing the real news, and give you the chance to get on your soapbox too, and our phone in. And in part 2, we break down today's hottest topics further with CV Burton from Freedom on Deck. You can have your shit say below in the live feed, and as usual, I will be sharing your comments as we go. You can follow me on social media, except Twitter right now, and check me out at xandergibb.com. Yeah, I'm still banned from Twitter for some reason. I don't know what I did or what I said. Maybe it was my punctuation that was the problem. Let's come to the live feed and say hello to everybody in there. Let's go all the way back. Hello to Chet. Hello to Dave. Hello to Janie. Hello to who else is there? Hello to my Gina. Janie says she can't share nothing. I'm getting fed up with Facebook and this banning people for stupid things. Hello to my Gina. Did I just say that already? I've said it twice now. Who says goats' lives matter. Hello to Maria. Hello to who else is there? Hello to Senna. Welcome to the show. A new face in the crowd. Hello to everybody that is watching but not in the live feed or listening. Do feel free to come and join us. Now it's time for my my version of the news and the things that are concerning me right now. So Shamima Begum, the British Muslim who left to fight with ISIS, should be allowed to return to the UK to challenge the revocation of her citizenship. Judges have ruled today. Now, 20-year-old Begum, who traveled as a schoolgirl to live under ISIS, wants to appeal her decision to revoke her citizenship and claim it made her stateless. Excuse me, I thought you went there because ISIS was a new state for Muslims. So make your damn mind up, lady. And exposed her to real risk of death or inhuman degrading treatment. Sajid Javid, the then Home Secretary, made the decision on national security grounds in February of 2019, saying that Begum had not been allowed to return to appeal the decision. Today, judges at the Court of Appeal said the only way in which she can have a fair and effective appeal is to be permitted to come into the United Kingdom to pursue her appeal. Treasonous traitors should not be given any thrift. Now, the thing that really bothers me about this, she had her own choice. She went off. She fought with ISIS. She didn't like it. So she was working against us, and as far as I'm concerned, that is treason. So this is a conversation that we have to have. If you live in the United States or the United Kingdom and you go off and become a terrorist, and then you decide you don't want to be a terrorist, should you just be able to come back into the country unchallenged? Well, if she's going to come back, I think the first thing that needs to happen is that social services need to take her kid away from her. Because if you have terrorist tendencies, why the hell should you be allowed to have your kids, and why should you be allowed to mix with decent people if only 5 minutes ago you were saying that you wanted people to be killed for your ideologies? Let us know what you think in the live feed. Hillary Clinton said she could have saved more lives lost to COVID-19 than Trump did, which is interesting given she couldn't even save 4 lives in Benghazi. This woman is her own pathogen, everything that is bad about society. Let's hope Ghislaine Maxwell has evidence that sends this sick bitch to jail forever. Let's hope they seize her assets, including Chelsea's ill-gotten gains, and give them to their victims and the Haitian orphans they robbed to pay for her wedding. There's a special place in hell for people like the Clintons, and I hope that they are holding several spaces open for them. Now, the Trump administration is considering a ban on travel to the United States by members of the Chinese Communist Party and their families. And that's a move that would almost certainly prompt some retaliation against Americans seeking to enter or remain in China and exacerbate tensions between the two nations. But do we care? You know, the presidential proclamation, still in draft form, could also authorize the U.S. government to revoke visas of party members and their families who are already in the country, leading to their expulsion. Some proposed language is aimed at limiting the travel to the United States by members of the People's Liberation Army and executives at the state-owned enterprises, although many of them are likely to be party members. How dare President Trump try to protect America and Americans? I mean, it's disgusting. Shouldn't he be like the Democrats and actually only caring about those that want to attack us and kill us? I ask you. Hello to CV. Welcome to the live feed. He's our guest in part 2. Oh, yes, sir. You don't forget about our drinking game. Every time we talk about either Goats Lives Matter or say the phrase, oh, yes, sir, feel free to take a nip of whatever takes your fancy. Yes, it is. Oh, yes, sir. Chet says, Seth Rich, that's not what you do. Yes, apparently that is the case. President Trump may intervene in the case of the St. Louis couple wielding guns at protesters. Missouri governor said the couple said they feared protesters would kill us. Isn't it an interesting dichotomy that in the USA we have the right to bear arms, but then the left wants us punished when we do. We need to feel safe, especially in these times. Stand your ground and do what you need to do to protect your family and those you love. So here's the thing. There you are, enjoying the property that you've worked damn hard for and paid for. And then what happens is, a mob of Black Lives Matter / Antifa members, kind of walk through your backyard. I mean, what are you supposed to do? Offer them tea and crumpets? I mean, get freaking real. If you feel threatened and you are a gun owner, you are allowed to use that gun as a deterrent. I'm so damn tired of these people who think that it's okay to tell you that when we have the right to bear arms, that you should only do it when liberals want you to. Well, I'm here to tell you, you do it when you feel threatened, and if they don't like it, they can take my middle finger. Yes, indeed, they can. And finally, Chrissy Teigen has deleted over 60,000 tweets after being linked to Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. But the internet is forever. The outspoken liberal mousetrap clearly has a guilty conscience, Chrissy, and is under a big cloud of suspicion. Why would John Legend's trophy wife scrub her Twitter account with anything that has to do with the allegations that Teigen is listed on Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs, allegedly? Now, the sudden deletion of tweets is now causing her even more problems. Teigen appears to have taken a page out of Hillary Clinton's book. No, she didn't steal from Haitian orphans to pay for her daughter's wedding. Her daughter's not old enough for that yet. And wiped her Twitter account clean of tens of thousands of her tweets. Interesting how those who have trashed Trump are being taken down one by one. TikTok, folks. TikTok. And that was Xander's news of the day. That was my soapbox. If you want to get on your soapbox, you can contact me at xandergibb.com/contact. That's xandergibb.com/contact. Be aware that if you do send me a message via that method, your internet provider address is sent, and any erroneous contact is sent to the police and also the gay mafia. So we have time for a couple of calls. If you're in the United States, you can call me on 845-363-4747. And if you're calling from the UK, you can call us on 0208-133-5274. That's 845-363-4747 if you are in the United States, and 0208-133-5274 if you are in the United Kingdom. Janie says she wants an old-fashioned. Chet says tick effing top. Yeah, I totally agree. There's actually a pleasure in this for me of seeing these people that have trashed Donald Trump, and they're the ones kind of with the most hide, like the Clintons, like Chrissy Teigen, etc., etc. Because why else would you delete all of your emails? Your tweets. It's apparent that she has something to hide. Chet says, are there any commercials on TV that aren't COVID inspired? I'm sick of it. I don't watch the news anymore. Oh gosh, this is the other thing I wanted to tell you. For those of you that shop on Amazon, and I'm guilty of it, because, being a disabled person, I don't get out as often as I can, as I would like to buy stuff. Amazon have actually stopped putting on their website the country of origin of the product, which really bothers me. So what that means is you can't boycott China by not buying from places, products from places like China. Hello, welcome to the Xander Gibb Show. You are live. What is your name and where are you calling from, Chet?
Yeah, Xander, this time I'm calling from the pool. Fixed a few leaks today. Everything looks fine.
Oh, wonderful. It's been like 68 degrees here today. It was perfect pool weather, but of course I thought of you, but I don't have a pool. So, I'm just a bitter old bitch, I guess.
I was out there with the kids and I was sort of swimming around as I do with them with the goggles, and I found this about a 1-inch slice on the bottom of the pool, so I'm freaking out. I tried the flex tape that they use. I'm not trying to do a commercial on your show or anything.
Right. No, it's fine. Flex tape is good stuff.
Cut a 2x2 out and slapped it on there, and it's good. I'll tell you, it's a good company, and the guy that runs it actually is a Trump supporter. So another great company that supports Donald Trump.
Exactly. So if you are out there and in need of a product of that ilk, make sure you go to Flex Tape. We do give free ads on this show to companies that support the president and his ideologies. So there you go. So it's interesting. We spoke about Chrissy Teigen yesterday, and now today she's wiped her Twitter, do you think she's got something to hide?
Yeah, absolutely, she has something to hide, and her husband does too. He was making the rounds with social media saying this is all overblown and it was just something she had to do because, and he said it himself. He said Twitter's forever, and you know what? He's right. Whatever she deleted, Xander, can be found. We have something called the cloud now.
Right.
You can't hide anything. The problem is when it's a liberal, the media is basically always in their defense, so we probably won't see it.
Right. Yeah.
But absolutely, she had some dirt in there.
Oh, they can find stuff that Donald Trump has tweeted from its inception, whether it's been deleted or not. But you're absolutely right. You know, when it comes to a liberal, they can't find it, or it's not there, or it was never sent, or they probably employ the same fact checkers as Facebook. But as a parent, you know, I always highlight this because, you know, I'm not a parent, and I kind of have certain ideologies. But doesn't it disgust you as a parent to find out that her and her husband, as parents, have gone over to somewhere that actually supports trafficking of minors and sex with minors and things like this? Don't you think, as a parent, it should be something that you would be vehemently against? Because you've got your own kids, you know. To me, I would worry that someone would do that to my kids or my nieces and nephews. So I wouldn't be there.
I think the part of it that's more disturbing to me isn't so much what's happening, but to actually believe what's happening is happening so rampantly.
Yeah.
That is the more disturbing thing to me. I mean, you see some of these names that are linked to it: Chris Tucker, Jay-Z, Lady Gaga, Tom Hanks, Chrissy Teigen, Bill Clinton, and you know there are a lot of people over there, Xander, in the royal family and in Parliament that are all tied up in this.
Yeah.
So the dominoes at some point have to fall, and if they don't, I am going to blame A.G. Barr. He went out and defended some of the folks that were on that list, which I didn't like. So I'm hoping that we get some justice. Am I expecting it? No, not really.
Well, we both know that
I say that.
I haven't liked A.G. Barr from day one. I think he's sat on his fat ass and done nothing for long enough, and everybody wants to defend him and say, "Oh, it's all preparatory, and he's going to get to it soon." Well, do your freaking job. I'm actually sick of people like him. You know, the thing is, I think that President Trump is. I respect the hell out of the guy, but I think he's actually too nice sometimes. And some of the people in his administration should not be there and should not be advising him. I think A.G. Barr is one. And another is you know, Jared Fresh-Faced Kushner, you know, who needs a slap.
Yeah.
I think the president in his second term needs to dissociate himself from these people and really sweep clean, because there are too many Obama overflows there. And let's face it, Jared Kushner is a liberal, and I'm sorry, you know, it's a different thing with if it's a typist or a receptionist, but you don't want people in your cabinet as a conservative that are liberals with liberal ideologies, because I think that they're not on your wavelength and not looking for the same ideologies that you are.
Yeah, I think that as far as A.G. Barr goes, I want him to do the right thing, and I'm rooting for him too. I want that, of course, and if he does, I'll be the first one to give him credit.
Right. And
I'm hoping that him and Mr. Durham are sitting on some things and that it will come out. As far as Jared Kushner is concerned, I've never really liked him from the get when I started to read into who he is.
Right.
I didn't know him prior to the administration. I didn't know that he was married to Ivanka rather. But there are some times.
Oh God! Imagine.
What's that?
Imagine if he was married to Ivana, darling.
Yeah. The ties that sort of link him to George Soros worry me.
Yeah.
So, and I can't say for sure that they're all real. We read a lot of things, but certainly the president, he's not going to take barking orders from his daughter or his son-in-law. So as far as it goes with President Trump and his administration, he makes the call. He does.
Absolutely, and don't, and don't, I don't want to get a shitload of messages
No, I
saying
understand.
I'm anti-Trump or anything like. I support him 500%, which is why I'm sitting up at 1:30 in the morning, talking
Absolutely.
about him. But I do. You see, the thing is that it's testament to how much he believes in people, because there are a few people he's given an opportunity to that really kind of threw it back in his face. But I think that the more he does this, the better he's actually becoming at it. And his ideology all the time seems to be, to me, is wanting to get the best for the American people, and everybody else can go jump, which I've never seen in a president before. Have you? Because they're all about placating everybody, and he doesn't care. He
Yeah.
just wants Americans to be okay, and everybody else can go forth and multiply.
Well, he's the first president that we've had in a long, long time that isn't a globalist. I think that's part of the answer to that question. And I only go back to Clinton. I don't. When I was a little boy, yes, Reagan was the president. Looking back on Reagan's his time in office, he did great things. He was a fantastic president, and I think we have an even better president with Donald J. Trump. But the issue now is that the media and social media and all of these big-time conglomerates are at the president on everything that he does. And a guy like Ronald Reagan just didn't deal with that. It was a different world. This is all new.
Oh, of course. And I think it's kind of an interesting concept that there was a back and forth between Reagan and Trump back in the day, which kind of is a little spooky for me. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, President Trump admired Ronald Reagan greatly.
Yeah.
And as far as, if you really look into both of their backgrounds, they're similar.
Yeah.
Ronald Reagan started as a Democrat. He was involved with the entertainment industry. He became president very late in life, extremely conservative, trying to toe the line of immigration by proving yourself, basically coming into America,
right,
and accepting our culture. And that's the same type of president we have with Donald J. Trump. But like I said, it's a different world, so he has a lot more to worry about. And, they just don't give him a chance, Xander.
No, they absolutely
never
don't.
give him credit on anything. It could even be a pass for the, I forgot what the bill was called, for the early release of some nonviolent criminals.
Yeah.
And they never even shined a light on him doing it. They may have said it in passing, but they never gave the man credit on it.
No, they gave the credit to Kim Kardashian, which I thought was ridiculous, because she has no power in the United States apart from giving fashion advice. I just want to come to a point that CV just made. CV said, "What leftist policies does Kushner support?" I actually meant, and I obviously can't speak for Chet, but I actually meant more that he's a Democrat, he's a liberal, so his perspective on a conservative administration is not going to be that of a conservative. That was my. But can you think of any particular kind of policies? For me, it's more his ideologies than his policies.
No, for me, it's more of who he's tied up with. I think probably Jared Kushner's ideology is very different than ours.
Yeah, for sure.
I certainly I see him as a brilliant young man, but you can choose your friends and you can't choose your family. It doesn't mean we're saying that Jared Kushner is an evil son of a bitch.
No.
I just look at him, and what I see is what I get. He's a liberal. I mean, Donald Trump's daughter's a liberal. It's not a secret. That doesn't mean that they're going to influence the Trump administration. It doesn't work that way. Look at Ronald Reagan's son. Ronald Reagan Jr. is a leftist true to the bone.
Yeah.
So people are going to be around you like that. It's just something that you deal with when you're the president of the United States, I think.
I think so too. But for me, I've always had the ideology of common sense politics because for me, it's not always about which side of the aisle the policies come from. If they're good policies, we should keep them. If there were a couple of good
Yeah.
things that Barack Obama did that were well worth keeping, but the majority of what he did was absolutely so anti-American. So we should have a common sense approach to politics, and I would feel it rather silly for anyone to say, oh well, we don't want that just because the liberals have come up with it. If it's a good thing and it's for the betterment of the United States and American people, then let's go for it. But a lot of people would poo-poo
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, I mean, Barack Obama, I don't like his presidency, period. I think it was the biggest force pulled on the American people in
Yeah.
the history of this country. I mean, a terrible, undecent, satanic human being that went into that office and stripped it down and started littering all these fascist judges and Marxist
Yeah.
ideologues into these communities and throughout districts in the Bible Belt, and he did that all purposefully.
Yeah.
So, Barack Obama is a complete failure, but when people say that, I also tell them he wasn't a failure in his mind.
No.
He wasn't a failure in the devout leftist mind. I could picture Barack Obama sitting by his nightstand and pulling out rules for radicals and saying to himself, I'm doing it. I'm really getting them this time.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did.
Oh, I think he was groomed from day one before he even
Absolutely.
became a senator. When he was just a community organizer, I think he was groomed from day one to actually change America to a socialist country. And the concern is that when you come along. I mean, I'm all for new ideas and I'm all for growth. But when you have a country that has a specific ideology, to want to change that, it's like when we say, oh, that person comes from Venezuela and they now want this and this, or when Muslims come and they want everyone to wear a face covering, cough cough.
And everyone is. And
Yeah,
everyone is.
exactly. Why don't you go back to where you came from and enjoy those things that you want here? Because to me, why even bother moving? Save your money and stay where you are.
Yeah, because they're put into place, and the fact of the matter is, Ilhan Omar won't live under her rules. The rules will be for the peasants of Minnesota
Right.
and the United States of America. She will never have to live under Sharia law because she's a figurehead. She's pushing the Islamic narrative and the Islamic rule of law into the United States of America. So she is more than willing to do it as long as the ending is something that's justified by the means, and she will continue to do that. She does not love America. But, Xander, yes, I worry about her because I see the evil in her eyes, and obviously her religious ideology is not good. But that's littered throughout the Democrat Party. They all hate America.
Right.
All of them.
But don't you find that scary? If you're lucky enough to be born into the United States, what is there to hate about it? Absolutely, there are some things that we need to change and get better with regard to. But overall, it's like we're talking last night about one of my topics last night was with regards to Oprah and her saying how bad America was and how racist it was. Well, it's made her a billionaire or multimillionaire, whatever the hell she is, and it's elected a black president twice. Well, a part black president, shall we say? Let's be politically correct. So it's not that racist, is it really? Given those two, even just those two items.
Oprah is a multi-billionaire. Oprah owns her own television network. She has been involved with many successful television shows. She has her own production company. She's produced movies, you name it. But she also has brought unsuspecting victims to Mr. Weinstein.
Yeah.
She has power.
Yeah.
They're all upset that the power is shifting. They want to get Donald Trump out of office as soon as they can. And if they can't do that by destroying the economy, they'll try to destroy us.
Yeah.
That's what this is all about.
Isn't that scary?
It's all about destroying America.
Isn't it scary that,
Yes.
that they hold her in high esteem, but she procured women to bring to Weinstein? You know, why was she not brought up on charges? If you bring someone to someone
She's
for
a
them to
Democrat.
rape them, sorry.
Because she's a Democrat. That's
Yeah,
why.
it's
that simple. I hate to keep saying this.
terrible.
The same thing. The Democrats don't live by our standards. They just don't, and they don't have to.
No, and that to me is disgusting because, you know, the law is the law is the law. And while we have a two-tier judiciary where if you're on the left or you happen to be a celebrity of some description, you know, you get away with murder, literally. And it's a concern for me. But I genuinely believe that once President Trump wins again in November, that he's really going to kick ass in 2021.
Yeah, I agree, because if you look at even if you go back to Obama, it was his second term where he really started to destroy the country. You know, his first term he didn't want to do that. Second time lost the House and the Senate, but then he started to use his pen and his phone, as he so eloquently said, to push forward with some very bad laws that the American people suffered for greatly. And thank God Donald J. Trump is reversing many of those actions. And, you know, he's playing by the rules that they created. I don't want to hear them bitch and moan about it. He's doing what he has to do to clean this country up. And I just hope after President Trump's 8 years that we have somebody that comes in and can kind of continue with where President Trump left off.
I think, I mean, a lot of people would disagree with me, but I think it's too early to think about who we're going to have for 2024, because
I know
there were a few possibilities in my mind.
I know, but the point is if we're going to make these strides and we're going to make these really good changes for the patriots in America, we can't just piss that away after 8 years. That's all I'm saying.
No, you're absolutely right, and I totally agree with you. But I actually believe that this will be part of Donald Trump's ideology to make sure he's mentoring someone to be that. I'm sorry to say I don't think it will be Mike Pence. I really don't. But I think there are a few interesting hats in the fire and hats in the ring.
I don't. You know, Mike Pence is a very quiet guy. He's a Christian. He's a great Christian. He really cares about his faith, and he cares about the faith of all Americans. But he doesn't have it. He just doesn't have it.
No.
He would get slaughtered, and I think he honestly is doing a good job for the president, because the president needs somebody there that's the calm, steady hand that keeps his voice out of the public and the media, and I think that's a big reason that he picked Mike Pence. Remember when we were talking about President Donald J. Trump making at the time candidate Donald J. Trump picking somebody to run alongside him, nobody said Mike Pence. No one.
No. In fact, a lot of people thought that he was going to ask, what's her name, Sarah Palin. But I don't think that would have been a good. I
don't want Sarah Palin.
No.
Sarah Palin, she was the voice that was never heard in the wilderness. I love Sarah Palin. She's a great woman. But she's certainly a little bit controversial when it comes to some of the things she said. But I think she's fantastic.
Yeah, you betcha. I'm still banned on Sarah Palin's Facebook page because I gave her a lot of stick when I was a Democrat. But I'm still banned, which I always think is quite funny. But have you heard this? That her name has been thrown into the ring as a contender for vice president for Joe Biden. I mean, why would he pick a conservative woman for? I mean, maybe he likes the look of her hair.
Yeah, I heard that from you, but I didn't take a look into it. I'm going to have to dig into that a little more. Like I said, Candace Owens announced on Twitter that she was going to be in the running for that, but she was just trolling people. So a lot of times you got to watch what people are saying. Obviously, Biden's not going to run with Sarah Palin. I mean, that's insane. He's going to run. I tell you who he is going to run with. He's going to run with whoever is president in 4 months, meaning that Joe Biden sucks and he's going to lose.
Yeah, exactly. For sure. Welcome, Russ, to the live feed. It's kind of funny. The thing is, even his office even called me a couple of weeks ago and asked me if I was interested in being his running mate. And the first thing they asked me was, "What kind of shampoo do you use?" And when I said Head and Shoulders, they said, "No, Joe is allergic." So it wasn't a good match. So he definitely needs someone who can sniff their hair.
Mane and tail. He's into mane and tail.
Yeah, for sure. So I definitely wasn't, a contender for that. But I'm still no clearer as to who he's the placeholder for. I still believe that he is. And every time I have a conversation with Dr. Gerard Lamiro, he's got quite a few theories as to who the running mate is going to be, because the running mate will become the number one, won't they? Let's face it.
Right.
If he drops out, then they'll choose another VP.
I think it's a little bizarre because we're getting really close, right? I mean, so you would almost have to. You can't replace him as the candidate right now. That would look. I don't even think the American people would buy that.
No.
Although they are buying somebody that makes announcements via his basement with a black mask on, incredibly creepy looking. That picture of him on his social media account, Xander, I mean, he just looks so bizarre. It's like one of the Manson family members.
Exactly.
Just absolutely weird. I mean, can you imagine having a failing Joe Biden as president of the United States? It would be frightening.
I can't, and I wouldn't even want a Hillary. Hi to Mike, welcome to the live feed. I wouldn't even wanted Hillary, because can you imagine what position we would have been in now? And she brags about how well she would have dealt with COVID, but her previous examples of how she was in office, I mean, she lost $6 billion while she was in the Treasury. I lose $6 and I'm panicking. I don't know about anybody else, but $6 billion. What does that say about your fiscal ability?
I don't know, Xander. The Democrats seem to lose a lot of money. I mean, it just kind of disappears. That's kind of weird how that happens with them. She was on with Trevor Noah, and she was talking about all the lives she would have saved. Did you hear that one? I'm going to save lives. No one has ever claimed Hillary Clinton saved any lives. If anything, they've only talked about people that she's killed. Yeah, like Seth Rich.
Well, look at oh God, my brain. The guy in Benghazi had his girlfriend on the show a couple of years ago.
It's Chris, right? Chris Stevens.
Yeah, Chris Stevens. Yeah. Tell it to Chris Stevens and his family and his ex-fiance. About how many lives that you're able to save, because it disgusts me that she makes these blanket statements. I mean, if you had that much to hide, wouldn't you go off and do like George Bush did and just, paint pictures of the grandkids? Because there will come a point. I wish I was a betting man, because I would go and put money on the fact that in the first couple of months of President Trump's second term of office, that he will appoint a special prosecutor, because I don't think it's too late. She still committed the crimes that she committed, and I would not be surprised if she's going to end up, going to court. I mean, she's in court in November, isn't she?
Yeah, she is, and it's convenient how all this is kind of surrounding the Durham investigation. You don't hear anything about it because everybody's talking about masks, and everybody's talking about, impeachment and all this bogus crap that the Democrats are making their little sheep watch the bouncing ball so they don't look the other way. If Hillary Clinton ever faces justice, I would be shocked. I just don't know. I've been waiting for this woman to be put behind bars for an extremely long time. Me too. And she just, listen, it shows that she is arrogant to a point of, no return, I would say. And she doesn't fear any repercussion.
Well, didn't she say?
Unfortunately, so far, Xander, she hasn't really had to.
No. Well, didn't she say that that no one had the right to take her to court? I mean, who the hell does she think she is? Every citizen of the United States or even the United Kingdom that breaks the law should be, prosecuted and taken to court. Hi to Keith. Welcome to the live feed. Yeah, to me, it's just ridiculous. She's got such damn audacity that. I mean, nobody wants to be a friend because all of her friends end up dead. I mean, who else has all of these friends that commit suicide? It's a worry.
I think
ahead.
When the head
Final
of the
point.
FBI says on live television, if we did what Hillary did, we'd be in jail.
Yeah.
Speaks volumes.
Yeah. And a final point, just before we end, Russ is just talking about the end of the Clinton Foundation slush fund. I totally agree. I don't know why there hasn't been a forensic audit of that organization. But you're going to say as your final point, I'm sure, Chet, because she's a Democrat.
That's right. Well, and until that changes, Xander, I'll be happy to come on with you and say I was wrong. But the Democrats...
Hey. I'm not.
They're untouchable.
I'm not dissing you, buddy. I just know you well enough to know what you're gonna say.
Oh yeah.
We gotta leave it there.
I love you, man. I love you.
I love you too, brother. And you'll be back with us tomorrow as the main guest. So I look forward to speaking to you then. Please don't mention your pool before you go or sitting by it because I get pool envy. But we will talk to you again tomorrow, my friend.
All right, buddy. Have a good interview with CV. Have a good show.
Will do.
Keep doing what you're doing because it's important.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. It really is. Thanks a lot. Chet Martin
Take
from
care, Dan.
Freedom on Deck. Check him out. His show goes out Sundays 3 till 5 on News Now and Stimulating Talk. There you go. I got it right for a change. So talking of News Now and Stimulating Talk, my next guest... it's a Freedom on Deck takeover today. He is the co-host on Freedom on Deck. His name is CV Burton. He's a regular on the show, and he's going to be joining us any moment now from the United States of America. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of gray. Hello to Roger. Welcome to the live feed. I think it's a worry that the Clinton Foundation has been left for so long unchecked. I know quite often they get their own accountants in and they say, oh, everything is fine and, there's no discrepancies and nothing dishonest. But, if you're paying them, then that is why it happens. So please join me in welcoming back to the Xander Gibb Show, the fabulous CV Burton. Thank you for joining us, sir. How is the world with you?
Thank you. How are you?
I'm good. It's just a bit humid here tonight. My hair is all frizzy. It looks like I've put my finger in the electric socket. But apart from that, I'm doing good. It's still like 67 degrees, and it's like 1:40 in the morning. So I'll be having like 5 fans on to sleep tonight. So I want to jump. Go ahead.
For mid-July in New York, we're very fortunate tonight. It's very cool.
Really?
A light breeze, no humidity. It's really. I'm walking around the neighborhood right now.
Wonderful. Well, I am envious, the weather. Well, I'm not always envious of the New York weather, not when it's really freezing cold in the winter and I'm sitting here in my centrally heated house. I'm not jealous then. So I want to jump right in.
It's the only good thing about New York right now.
Anyway. Yeah. Well, especially with your leadership, which is a great lead-in because the governor's brother, Fredo Cuomo, is once again triggered by President Donald Trump and Ivanka Trump on Wednesday for commenting on Goya Foods to counterbalance the cancel culture arising from the CEO's support for him. You tell me our president in the middle of a pandemic has got time for this bullshit, the stunted CNN host said. Are you kidding me? On your dime, in the middle of a pandemic, they are selling beans? Cuomo said. Are you kidding me? Seriously? This is not left and right. This is reasonable, my brothers and sisters. So Fredo is now a man of the people. Cuomo also called out the White House for its thug tactics and said those close to the president have repeatedly attacked infectious disease expert Dr. Anthony Fauci over the last few days because disagreement is attack in the eye of libtards. It's time for President Trump to man up, Cuomo said. You know, you had your boys doing your dirty work. It's always the same. And if Tommy Navarro had gone rogue with the essay, there'd be trouble, Cuomo said. What is the White House going to do about it? Well, I don't think the White House should do anything about it. You know, interestingly enough, they said that that Ivanka had broken the rules, but she's not even a paid employee. So how has she broken any rules? And how did the president reciprocating this response to cancel culture?
Well, I wouldn't even know what Fredo was saying if you didn't tell me, because I don't watch that channel.
No.
It's like, I have a rule. I ignore the narratives of the left because all they have is these phony narratives. They never really want to tell you what they really want to do, which is take over all our industries and impose socialism on America and micromanage our lives. They disguise what they want to do behind these fake, these straw man arguments, these fake arguments. And Fredo is showing how stupid he really is.
Right.
Because he's saying that in the middle of a pandemic, it's not a pandemic.
No.
We're not in a pandemic anymore.
No.
We're technically not in a pandemic anymore because the cases have gone up like 128%.
Yeah.
That's only because everybody has it. It's called herd immunity. We all had it.
Right.
We're not really affected by it. We got cold symptoms and maybe a little fever for a couple of hours, and that's it. And then we have the antibodies. Now we can't even get it.
Well, the thing is,
the death rate has gone down.
Yeah.
Like 58%. Which, if you know anything about mathematics, the ratio shows that the virus is very, very weak. And
Yes.
only people who are compromised health-wise or very, very old.
Exactly. And the other...
That Cuomo, his brother, put in harm's way by forcing
Right.
old age homes to take in people who are infected.
Exactly.
It's bizarre. It's bizarro land.
And the other thing about this is that there are going to be more, when the testing is faulty too, there are going to be more reported cases. But there's, a very well-known doctor called Dr. Carl Sikora. He's a guy, and he says that anyone that died of the coronavirus would have died within the year anyway because their health was that bad and their immune system was that compromised. Not that I excuse that. I don't want anybody to die, so don't write in. But let me take you backwards a second to what the original question was. What's your take on the fact that the president supported Goya, where the CEO had supported him, and they tried this attempt at cancel culture? Do you think that what the president did was wrong, or was it a fair call?
What was his call? That he accepted endorsement from Goya? I don't understand. Maybe I missed your point.
Okay, well, as I said in the preamble, basically, the CEO of Goya had praised him and supported him. So there was an attempt at cancel culture to actually get people to stop buying the product. So as a response to that, the president praised the CEO of Goya, and they're saying that was basically like a conflict of interest.
I don't understand what the conflict of interest is. You have a guy who supports Donald Trump, and Trump says he's a good guy.
Right.
I don't see anything weird about that at all. And here's another thing about Fredo. He's like, you're going to be selling beans in the middle of a pandemic. Hey, moron! It's bean selling that keeps people alive. It's selling products that keep people alive.
Right.
It's selling products that raises families. And oh my God, there's a family of bunny rabbits running right around me.
Where the hell are you? You're not in New York City, I take it.
No, I'm in the suburbs. I'm out on Long Island.
Right.
And there's a couple of white-tailed bunny rabbits hopping around. Like,
are they sanitized bunny rabbits or not?
I don't know. They're cute as hell.
You mean you didn't
But
ask
anyway.
them? If they're cute, they obviously listen to the show because only cute people do. Now I want to, which is a great
Take
segue.
after the host, my
Yeah,
friend.
absolutely. Talking of cute people, because the next topic is not about someone that's cute in any way, shape, or form. I am, of course, talking about Meghan McCain, because she says she's taking a dim view of Donald Trump's performance on the campaign trail. In fact, Midris Megipoo said it might be time to pull the plug on Donald's re-election campaign for good. Someone's bitter their dad failed on the task several times. On Wednesday show, the panel griped about what Joy Behar called incompetence and ludicrous remarks when the president responded to a press question about the wrong teeth. And when the president responded to a comment about police officers shooting black Americans by saying white people got shot too. McCain was frustrated by the president's insistence, saying he made stupid, undisciplined comments that become hot topics on shows like The View. McCain warned the Trump campaign, that if the president can't change his tone, he might as well just quit. I'm at the point where if he and his team can't in any way bring out any cohesive message, maybe you should just wrap it up, she said, because there's some interesting things to say about China right now. Talking about why people getting shot right now is not only tone deaf, and I don't understand, McCain said. Isn't it time that Meghan McCain shut the hell up? Because she's only got a job due to nepotism. What say you, Stevie?
Yeah, I hate nepotism more than anything else. But I have to say that The View, for fat housewives who have nothing better to do all day than to walk around with their fat house dresses and watch that crap on television. And then as soon as it's over, they switch over to watch The Young and the Restless, where everybody sleeps with everybody all day long, and each character has 20 marriages. And then they recycle the marriages and marry them all again.
Yeah.
These are the brain dead people watch that show. I don't really care what McCain says. I don't even know her first name all of a sudden.
Megan.
But Megan.
Yeah. You can just call her bitch because people will know who you mean.
Yeah, she pretends to be the token conservative on the panel.
Yeah, don't you find that hilarious?
Yeah, she sits across from Whoopi and occasionally has a token argument with her.
Yeah.
But it's all bull because she's a liberal through and through. Everybody knows it.
Well, you know why she became a conservative, don't you?
Sunshine some days. She looks so pale. She looks like some kind of
the Bride of Dracula. She looks like the Bride of Dracula. You know why she became a conservative, don't you? Because she was too cheap to buy her father a birthday present one year. So this is true. I'm not making this up. It's not some comedic line. She became a paid-up member of the Republicans because she gave it to her father as a birthday present. But if she's conservative, I'm a heterosexual stud, and we know that ain't true. Do you know what I mean? What do you mean, yeah?
She's as conservative as her father, who was a useful idiot to the evil Obama holdovers in the FBI, and he took the Steele dossier over to the FBI.
Right.
DNC gave him the dossier, and he handed it to the FBI. They already had it. They just did it for appearances.
Yeah.
Like, look, a Republican gave it to us.
Do you think he
carried it all for appearances?
Do you think he carried it over with those little short arms that never move, or do you think he had it in a briefcase? I mean, they say you shouldn't speak ill of the dead, but I don't have anything good to say about him when he was alive. So I'm certainly not going to sit here and pontificate. Now he's dead. But doesn't it make you laugh that they refer to her as the conservative voice on The View? I mean, I don't know if any conservatives watch The View. I used to watch it when I was a Democrat, but it actually just got to the point where it was just a Trump-hating show. Like others that have done that, like Will and Grace. I loved Will and Grace. In the early days, Will and Grace was really good and really funny. And then when they turn into these Trump hating experiences, I don't want to watch it anymore. So I guess they don't mind polarizing their audience. You see, I don't mind damn fly in the studio. I don't mind if there's a balanced approach and it's not a disingenuous commentary, but that's all it is, on that show, unfortunately.
Yeah. I would rather watch a Cher podcast, featuring Cher and get her point of view. And she'd have guests like Barbara Streisand and stuff like that. I'd rather watch that than The View.
I bet that was
I can only take so much of Whoopi Goldberg. I can only take so much of Whoopi Goldberg.
So when Cher was on with Barbara Streisand, could you smell the TDS through the TV? I mean, I think you probably could.
I definitely can. I can imagine it.
Yeah.
And that Joy Behar, Joy Blowhard.
Joy Diehard.
I can't stand. She's like, she has the face that you want. Oh, I don't want to say that.
Yeah.
Never mind.
She has a face. She has a face like a robber's dog. My favorite diss about Joy Behar is Joy Behar has a face like a bulldog licking piss off a stinging nettle. There you go. I said it. I said it for you.
Her face looks like a catcher's mitt. That's all I know.
Yeah. Chet is being really nice about Whoopi in the live feed right now. But isn't it interesting? Whoopi goes on the show now with this mop head on her bonds. This white mop. I mean, does she not have a fashion advisor with all that money? They say money can't buy you taste, and clearly they were thinking about Whoopi when they made that statement.
Yeah, she played a cyborg on Star Trek.
Yeah.
And
no, she wasn't a cyborg. She was an empath.
Yeah, and she's just as real on The View as she is on that show as a cyborg. In other words, she's a robot for the DNC, and her brain has been programmed, and she cannot think outside of the box.
But doesn't it turn you off?
And she's a phony and a fraud.
But doesn't it turn you off an actor? I was a fan of Whoopi Goldberg growing up, all the Sis Trek movies and stuff, blah, blah, blah. But doesn't it turn you off with celebrities when they go liberal on you? I don't want to know about your politics if I'm watching you act. I'm paying my money to watch you act. I don't want to know what your politics are or what you like and what you don't like, unless I'm reading in a magazine that you like roses over carnations, for instance. I don't want to know your politics if you're a celebrity.
Yep. Well, she's talented. She's funny when she wants to be. She should stick to comedy. She's very talented. I don't want to put that part down.
No.
Her philosophy is absurd and bankrupt, and she couldn't defend it if she wanted to.
No.
In an intelligent way, she could not defend her own philosophy.
But that's what
makes no sense.
Right.
But sometimes she's actually right. Sometimes she actually hits a good point, and that just proves that a broken clock is right twice a day.
Yeah, but the funny thing about Whoopi Goldberg is I saw this clip a couple of weeks ago where she said she felt that Dr. Jill Biden, Joe Biden's wife, would make an excellent Surgeon General. Now, everybody that was laughing, they said Whoopi was saying she's such a good doctor. They were all laughing and saying, actually, whoop, she's not a doctor of medicine. She's a doctor of something else. So, I do love Whoopi, but I do feel that we're polarized by the politics sharing of some celebrities. Because the thing is that if you are polarizing your audience, that means the potential of half the people that are watching you, they're going to kind of disagree with you and turn up. I'm quite lucky because my audience are probably mostly conservatives. We actually have some Democrats that listen to the show, which is great. I'm all for educating liberals. But I think it's a worry when you are polarizing your audience, but obviously she can still command the salary. We talked yesterday about Nick Cannon. He's done the same. He's polarized his audience with his commentary. But I hope it comes to bite them on the ass. I really do, long term.
Yeah. If I was ever on that show, which would never happen, I would debate them to the core of their beliefs, not this, these phony fringe element narratives that they hide behind. I would get right to the core of the matter. I think, you really believe that socialism is good for this country, or
Right.
affirmative action? Do you think affirmative action is not racist? Do you think actually?
Of course it is.
Affirmative action is actually fair.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
look at.
the crux of the matter, and watch them squirm. They wouldn't be able to handle it.
Yeah. Well, Joy Reid would never have a TV show if it weren't for affirmative action. Let's face it. And that's a great point to leave it on, because we are out of time. But thank you so much for joining us once again, CV, and tell people where they can find you and what show you are a co-host on.
It's Freedom on Deck. It's a radio show heard in New York and Connecticut and Rhode Island. But you can get everything. You can see you can listen to it live and see the back archives on freedomondeck.com.
Absolutely. And that goes out Sundays, 3 till 5 on News. Well, just check it out.
News now and stimulation and rotation.
That's not it either. We can't even edit that out because it's live. But listen, thank you so much, CV. Have a great week, and we will speak to you very soon.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot, brother. Take care. Bye-bye. That was CV Burton, who couldn't even tell us what news now and stimulating talk was, which is quite funny as far as I'm concerned. We are at the end of the show. Thanks to everyone who's made today's show possible. Thanks to my good buddy Chet Martin for calling in to shoot the breeze. Thanks to my guest, CV Burton, who is also from Freedom on Deck. It was a Freedom on Deck takeover today. Thanks to everybody in the live feed. Please click the share button before you go, and please go to the Xander Gibb Show page, which you will be able to find pretty easy, and make sure you click like on that to keep up to date with what's going on. Now had your fill of the Gibbs too. You can catch me 5 nights a week, 5 Pacific, 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 1 in the UK, and 10 in Australia the next day. Join us tomorrow for more fabulous chat when my good friend Chet Martin calls us. Stay safe. I can't talk. Stay safe out there. I really do love you all. I've been Xander Gibb. Thanks a lot. I love you all. Bye-bye.
It has been good to me this time around. Things were they were bound to change when it was found. Sugar never tasted sweeter on my lips. My heart is now intact, and I can find no ribs. This is love, yeah, love. Never known true love before. Seen so many counterfeits that left me on the floor. This is love, yeah, love. All will come to those who wait. Time it cannot know the bounds, and eras don't dictate.
Click the bell button and subscribe to keep up with the Xander Gibb Show. Oh yes, sirree.